Hello everybody, it's me, Caffey here. Okay, so my channel is semi-growing, for my standards anyways, and I don't have any interest in critiquing artists anymore, so I think I'll just stick to reviewing media from now on. And today, I'm taking a step further from my previous reviews, and this time I'll review something straight from the Telebox. And yeah, I know this may seem shocking and out of left field to review this cartoon compared to a more trendy show, but I have a reason. One singular motivation that sparked this whole thing. Most of the reviews I could find of this cartoon sucked. Now, look, I don't want to antagonize anyone or sound like an ass, but outside of one decent retrospective by Nintendo, most of them were of low quality, had the same tired criticisms, or were just not good watches overall. In all fairness, I'll probably end up hating this video later on anyway, because, well, I had to rewrite the script a lot because this was a hard as hell cartoon to review in a proper sense. And even with the final draft, I'll still feel like I'll suffer from a rocket-related mishap. That is to me not the best show ever, but a damn unique one. It gives rewatching this show when you're older such a surreal experience. It was nice to have a show with various art style changes, especially compared to the current era of cartoon art where their lineup contains mostly shows with unappealing pastel colors. And it was nice to see them parody well-remembered stuff combined with lesser-known stuff that would fade into obscurity. And if I gotta be honest, while people bring up Robot Chicken and compare the two shows, I think Matt's the superior cartoon because one died a hero and the other...
DJ Lance? DJ Lance? DJ Lance?
Wait, Robot Chicken ended recently? See what I mean when I talked about suffering a rocket-related mishap? Seriously though, despite Matt's reputation as a supposedly kid-friendly cartoon, ironically I feel like it ended up being far more adult, or at the very least less immature compared to Robot Chicken, or any other unfunny garbage YouTube kid cartoon parody.
Caillou gets laid.
Because it allows for more potential for jokes here, instead of just having characters doing unsavory shit for comedy. However, don't get me wrong, this is by no means a perfect show. Obviously, for starters, this show has a fair amount of gross out sprinkled in, and early season 1 and late season 4 are rather weak, with early season 1 having more Salzburg and Freiburg-esque style of humor, and late season 4 rushing a lot of the writing, as they either only have a trailer to work on, like the Lone Ranger or Ender's Game parody.
Oh, also, I should probably mention that when we wrote this sketch, the full trailer wasn't available, so I couldn't tell you who the villain of this movie is.
Or have stuff like the Warm Bodies or World War Z parody, where they just think acknowledging cliches is funny.
Jerry, you've got to go to England.
Why?
Because the movie's called World War Z, not Random Country Z.
Glad to know that 10 years later, the style of humor is still being used, and it's still not funny. But when you have over 200 sketches, not all of them are going to be winners. Because trust me, there were a lot of great sketches here that were hard to rank, so I had to limit one per episode. Also, I'm only discussing the movies and TV show parodies because, while I think the best moments from the show are by far any of their commercial parodies,
Kill me now.
I can't rank those because they're even shorter and even harder to discuss. Now let me start this ranking by bringing up the honorable mentions. I feel like I have to give this one a shout out for two reasons. It's the first sketch of the whole series first and foremost, but most importantly, this was the sketch that introduced the world to woke M&Ms.
Oh, I think I just crapped in my shell.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Now, one great thing about this show is how often they'll have sketches filled with jokes you probably won't get at first viewing. Take this sketch for example, as I didn't realize the main joke here was that Big Bird's a psychopath, and honestly, that just made the sketch even funnier upon rewatch.
Oh, Prairie Dawn? I don't think that's a catchphrase.
True, but it's catchier than I'm being held against my will. Seriously, I'm being held against my will.
If the MCU is actually any good.
Wow, this place is great.
Okay, so this one might come across as harsher in hindsight because of the unfortunate premature death of Kobe Bryant himself. Not helping is this joke in particular.
I'm signing Kobe here to a 5-year contract.
Woohoo! Too bad my life cycle's only 6 weeks.
But I just find it really amusing, as Mad was a show that primarily parodied the current thing. Very few times they referenced older movies, and when they did, it was usually in early season 1, and it was mostly popular movies such as Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, or Cloverfield. Here, the B-movie didn't do that well at the box office, and this was pre-meme, so it seems they only parodied it because the writers seem to legitly fucking hate the movie, which honestly amuses me. I know I said season 4 felt a bit lacking, but it had some strengths, such as getting more notable guest stars. This one in particular got the legend Stan Lee himself for the role of Papa Smurf, which I feel like makes his mention deserving.
Well, hello again, children.
However, I can't put this one on the list properly because the film is parodying Mama fade into obscurity, and I legit ended up confusing it for another horror movie called Ma, which I ended up legit confusing for another horror movie called Mother. Come on, where else are you gonna find a parody with both Planet She and Family Guy?
So long, evil monkey. You'll have more room in here than in my closet. Okay, I'm going.
Did that just happen?
Yes, it did.
There are tons of sketches that work for the voice acting alone. Here's a great example, with Andrew WK voicing a fictionalized version of himself, and he just fucking nails his performance here.
That sandwich wasn't old.
No, but your friend is.
Am I in heaven?
Finally, the sketch I would call the honorary number 11, and sadly could not put this on the list proper, as I feel like OKKO's Cartoon Mania ripoff episode admittedly kind of ate its cake, but god damn, for its time, this was a treat to see iconic shows mixed with some lesser known shows together at last. Of course, both are still better than what we get on the network now since it's on life support.
Monday, 10 a.m. Cartoon Network celebrates its 20th anniversary, but is still not old enough to stay up past 9.
And now it can't stay up past 5. Anyways, enough with the honorable mentions, let's get to the list proper, starting with...
Stand back, I'm putting him under with a sedative.
Oh, that's strange. You all look so different all of a sudden.
Okay, I know I did bring up how the early episodes kind of felt unorganized and random. However, the randomness here worked to its advantage in this case, because you could tell that this was a lot of fun to draw. Plus, the randomness here works because rather than being a singular movie parody, this one's meant to be more of a genre parody. Do you guys understand what I mean? Alright, fine, I'll reword that. In this medium parody, we get a parody of basically what every old boomer thinks anime is, as it parodies mostly the well-known stuff like Pokemon, Voltron, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, Domo, the Communist Manifesto, and Pedo Bear. And yes, you heard me right, there is a Domo anime. It's a quick gag-filled trip that I just love rewatching. And plus, the best thing about this is how the page is just here casually watching this whole clusterfuck.
What the heck happened?
Oh, you just needed your appendix out. You're fine now.
It's only number 10 because I felt like the ending joke wasn't the strongest, but otherwise rightfully earned its place as one of the show's most well-remembered sketches. I'll be honest, of all the sketches, this was the hardest one for me to talk about on its own, as in general, choosing my favorites was hard because a lot of the great segments are on an equal amount of quality. This one in particular was hard for me to discuss as well because most of my reasons for liking this one just come from the fact that I like no dialogue episodes in general. It's probably one of the more unique parodies, as this one is just mostly meant to be a nice tribute to silent movies, and most of the humor here comes from slapstick.
Slapstick is a concept that occurs in most classic cartoons.
Admittedly though, I had to put this one low on the list because it's obviously not the best slapstick in the world, as it has some awkward animation moments due for the show's uses of clip-out animation. However, the silent film atmosphere, combined with the fact that it's actually well-timed, does make it still work. Maybe not completely fulfilled, if that makes sense, but still a rather funny watch. Also, the sketch is a cute dog.
Boots? How did you get ahead of me?
Oh, I'm always one step ahead of you in this world, Doraline.
While I don't want to make the obligatory Robot Chicken comparison again, I do feel like the animation studio behind it needs a shout out because I feel like they're actually great at stop motion, but unfortunately they have a tendency to waste their talent on funny shows.
Come here, baby!
Whoa!
Okay, no stripping in my office, please.
On the flip side, they did the work on this show, and I really do love the 4 parodies they did. I guess maybe this could be considered a 4-way tie, but I just want to place the last one here because it shows that even during one of the show's final episodes, they could still have one of the show's best looking offerings. Half of the segment here takes place during the night, which as a result gives off some great atmosphere. And even the character designs here are great, especially the monster swiper here.
We can find you wherever you go, Doraline!
Its cool animation and great jokes are simply why I love the sketch. Okay, also I know I'm repeating myself here, but my god, is it great to have a parody of a kid show that actually parodies the flaws, instead of just having the characters do raunchy shit for comedy. Because before typing this, I saw this really unfunny adult Dora parody, and holy shit, it was on par with Dorkly of how insufferable it was.
I need to move these 2 kilos of cocaine to my connect in Denver!
What have I become?
We saw balloons and thought it was a party.
Now we're really high.
Balloons?
Now, this is an oddly nostalgic one, not in terms of how many times I watched it, but rather the era it represents. See, if you're too young or don't remember this at all, there was this one MTV show called Jersey Shore, and it was the fucking worst. It starred a bunch of jabronis who were famous for being famous and having them do stupid shit, and it's not even worth hate watching, even if you hate yourself. So naturally, I kind of felt nostalgic for all the jokes making fun of how god-awful the show was. For those who never witnessed the blasphemy that is the original show, and fear you might not get the parody, the cast here are depicted in such an overly top stupid manner that their stupidity is just hilarious to watch, regardless.
Look everyone, a hot tub!
No, wait, where?
The highlight is easily the running gag, where all the characters just end up dropping like flies off the house. All I feel like was missing here is just more reaction humor out of Carl, otherwise it would have been a much higher. But hey, I can always get reactions from actual New Jersey residents if I wanted to. Hey Spacey, your state sucks and you have a stupid hat.
Fuck you.
Now, only 3 sprites remain. Princess Peach, Princess Zelda, Bounty Hunter Samus Aran. One of you will be gaming's next top princess.
Alright, so 30 seconds or less to review the sketch without stating the R word. Go.
The more you're into gaming, the more references you'll get here. And also notice that Amy Rose PNG slapped on in the beginning. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. And yeah, I love the gaming references here and all, but the real reason it's on here is because of the ending, which I definitely won't spoil, but it is amazing.
I saw that ending for myself as well, and it was really funny. Reminded me a lot of classic cartoon gags. Here I say it was so retro.
You're an awesome boyfriend, Snot.
Hey, it's just great to date a girl without 7 evil exes.
Well, the thing is...
Snot Pilgrim! Step away from my princess!
Choosing this segment has nothing to do with the recently released Netflix series, though maybe my rose-tinted glasses have to do with it, because this was a sketch I quoted a lot as a kid. This line in particular is still stuck with me.
I'm not gonna fight a bunch of...
Did he say the M word?
Munchkins?
No! The other one!
I said old men. I don't even know why they bleeped it.
This is shockingly one of the more visually interesting segments, as it has really good lighting, replicates the art style of the original Scott Pilgrim comics well, has some nice visual gags, and even the action here I do love. Also, can I just say how it's crazy that this was actually my introduction to Scott Pilgrim? And if your parody can get me into something I probably wouldn't have considered getting into initially, then you did something right.
This is a very shocking family circus.
Probably should have stated this earlier, but better late than never. I feel like it's safe to say that the more familiar you are with the franchise that's being spoofed, the more enjoyment you get out of a sketch. Like, if you're a hooligan, then you'll probably love their Doctor Who parody.
Ah, welcome to my bed and breakfast. I have to warn you, we do things a little bit silly here.
Oh, that's too bad. We hate silly things. Goodbye.
Or in certain cases, like this one, the more you hate the franchise as being spoofed, the more enjoyment you'll get out of it, because trust me, if you grew up reading newspaper comic, chances are you found the Family Circus the lamest thing ever. As such, I probably consider this sketch to be the best in the sketch dedicated to roasting a singular property category, because especially near the end, it is the perfect roast. Also, I just love newspaper comic aesthetics in general, so that factors into me liking this a lot.
Are kids gonna be interested in a movie about a dead president?
Ah yes, my favorite in the sketch that works for the voice acting alone category since, well, it's Gilbert Gottfried as a giant gorilla president. It's this high on the list alone for that.
Hello, Congress, I'm the president!
And it's not even a random celebrity casting choice because they wanted to. No, if you did a research, Abraham Lincoln actually had a high-pitched voice like this, so if you ask me, it's the perfect casting choice. I haven't seen the film it's parodying, admittedly, so that's the reason why it's not number 1, because there's probably some jokes I'm missing here or something, but all that matters is that I watched Godzilla King of Monsters, which makes the ending funnier looking back on.
This is up, and this is down. This is up, and this is
Correction. Make that 2 confirmed survivors.
Yes, I'm aware of the irony of me criticizing Season 4 a bit, yet I ended up putting a lot of its sketches on here. Now, during the show's final season, I wasn't really catching a whole lot of its new episodes, outside of maybe 1 or 2, this being one of those episodes I caught. I loved it back then, and I still love it now, because everything about this sketch is amazing. I love the sketch back then because it might have something to do with me being a hardcore Nostalgia Critic fan, but I fucking hated After Earth when I first saw it, and naturally was delighted to see a parody like this rip the film to shreds. But now I just feel like I like this one because every joke here is perfect from start to finish. It has everything I could want. Intentionally bad green screen puppets, making fun of the film's flaws, like its stupid plot or that annoying pseudo-intellectual quote that gets repeated a lot.
Danger is real. Fear is a choice.
Then I choose to be really, really afraid!
Action that's both ridiculous and entertaining, and thankfully, there's no cringeworthy jabs at the people behind the film like Shyamalan or Jaden Smith. As a result, it could still be funny 10 years later, compared to any internet video ranting on the film that unfortunately has these moments. Honestly though, this sketch being so good makes me wonder if the film that was parodying was even that bad. Okay, yeah, this wasn't really that good, but it's far from the worst thing ever. It's not even the worst Shyamalan movie, but it is one of his more uninteresting films, outside of a few unintentional hammy moments. But at the end of the day, I just really feel bad for Will Smith here. He really wanted this movie to be the next big thing, and it just didn't happen. At least I can relate, as someone who feels like I get crushed by ambition a lot, though.
Super friends is what we're called, but really that is bogus. At best we say we're work colleagues, no matter how you coach us. And I got moves like Jabba. I like to move like Jabba. I want to move like Jabba.
Hey, yes, I know you, and you're not crazy. Your memory's been wiped. Total recall me, baby.
So we watched all night, the worst show ever, and we hope that it might, but it never got better.
Now I really want to talk about one of the song parodies they did, but couldn't choose a singular one, so I'm just going to quietly make the number 1 pick a 6-way tie. Seriously though, choosing a favorite song parody is like choosing a favorite... I don't know a good metaphor, I just love these sketches. Flammable was the one I quoted the most, as I found its random puppet massacre the funniest shit ever as a kid.
Burn, burn, burn. Oh, when will I ever learn?
That's What Super Friends Are For is a great tribute to DC characters, popular or not as popular. The Moves Like Jagger parody is also a really great Star Wars tribute, and unironically one of the best things to be related to Maroon 5. Total Recall Me Baby was an amusing roast on the Total Recall remake that no one remembers. Hip Hop Hobbit was a great callback to the abysmal animated Hobbit movie, as well as early hip hop in general, and features voice work from the great Biz Markie, may he rest in peace.
When I pass
bust the mic, he'll take the mic, and he'll have the mic, and he'll use the mic.
And lastly, as for the 100th episode, it legit took the clip show cliche and made it work by using it to destroy themselves during its milestone celebration nonetheless, which, mad respect, no pun intended.
So you do have a new song?
Actually no. It turned out to be garbage. So we thought we'd just perform the mad theme song. Got your kazoos, boys?
Story of my life, because I could not think of a good ending joke for this video. I'm the Litterbox Critic, I am signing out, hubba bubba, a whole new kind of bubble.
Your baby daddy's works right there. Catch me by the clear, I was right there. Niggas give me everything we say. Louis Brand, I know it in my GP.
And for those curious, here are my top 10 stingers on the show.